Right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm afraid I'm going to use a bit of paper this time, but I know Dan is far more practiced than me. So, welcome to Exbury. First and foremost, I wish to remember my Uncle Leo, who created this wonderful railway at Exbury some 15 years ago. Many of you will remember him, as I do, with considerable fondness. When he died in 2012, he asked that the numerous books, pictures and objects collected or given to him over the many years that fell in the category railway honour, and there were many, should be sold specifically for the railway. We decided that it should be for some specific purpose, thus this extension. There are several people here involved in the original creation of the railway. First, Leo's oldest friend, Sir James Dunbar Naismith, who designed the railway station, modelled after Aviemore, the engine shed, the tunnel with its two different ends, and much else. Second, Trevor Stirland and his family, who made the actual engines and carriages, indeed all the rolling stock, as you can see I'm beginning to learn the terminology, and keep them well serviced. And third, Sue Sutherland, who designed the original railway garden. For the creation of this extension, my thanks must go above all to Ian Wilson and to all his team. Ian's enthusiasm, as everybody knows, is boundless and catching. Indeed, some of my fellow trustees and I needed little persuading to help lay the final pieces of track about 2 months ago, and actually pretty much where we're standing now. Next, I must thank Tom Clark, our new head gardener, and all his team for the landscaping. And finally, I must thank all those involved in organising today. Forgive me if I don't mention everybody by name, but I know you're all really here to hear Dan Snow and not me. Before I hand over to Dan, I must just explain why we have renamed this pond, as you're about to see, Dragonfly Pond, and this stop, Dragonfly Halt. My cousin, Kari de Koningswater, and her husband, Rory Mackenzie Dodds, are experts on dragonflies and are going to develop this pond with a view to attracting as many different ones as possible. And the trains will stop here in the summer. So that will be next year's event, and hopefully all of you ferroequinologists, that's railway enthusiasts, will spread the word to all you odonatophiles, that's dragonfly enthusiasts. Rory, I might add, is living proof that you can be both. So now we come to Dan Snow. Dan's numerous television programmes include a 3-part series on the history of Britain's railway network and a 4-part series on the world's busiest terminus in Mumbai. So you've got rather a contrast here. I am pleased to say that he and his family are also frequent passengers on this train, as they live near here in the house my grandfather first bought before later moving to Exbury. So if things had been different, the railway just might have been in that garden and not this. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Dan Snow.
Hello everybody, what a pleasure to be here on a beautiful day. My children would love this railway being their garden, I must say. I was getting a little bit confused about my choice of wellies, but I just want to point out that the train just vented steam all over my feet, so I wore exactly the right look. Thank you very much. I've worked with these iron horses enough to know their little habits. It is, if you love history, this is a wonderful part of the world to live. In fact, you can live here and you need everything you need to know about world history, you can basically gather from the surrounding few square miles to where we are now. So Britain made 2 remarkable contributions to human history, I would argue. First of all, the development of the Royal Navy spread British and English ideas of law and commerce and politics all the way around the world. So that basically every country in the world effectively copies Britain's constitution, thanks to the ships that were built here by the side, sailed down this river, sailed over Portsmouth and spread those practices throughout the world. So we're all very proud living in this little part of the corner of the country, because what happened here had a direct impact on the rest of the world. And the second remarkable contribution I think Britain made to the world is what we're standing beside now, the railway. Admittedly, possibly nicked off a Frenchman, the first railway, the first idea for a moving steam engine, but let's not worry too much about that. It was effectively a British invention, heavily innovated in Britain, and then spread around the world from this side. As we know, the first intercity, all the firsts were in this country, but for example, the first intercity railway, Liverpool-Manchester, opened here in the UK. Interestingly, on that day, the President of the Board of Trade, Cabinet Minister, was run over by one of the trains as the Prime Minister rode on the train, so We're not going to repeat that, Dave. Watch out, young man, because you're standing right again. We're going to take the brakes off. Make sure you move. So that's one record we're hoping not to emulate. But it is the most exciting, the most remarkable story. And from here, these trades spread right across the world. They forged new nation states. The USA, Canada, Russia, Germany, these super states came into being because of the railways that were developed here. And also they came into being because of the industrialists, the financiers, the capitalists who were able to invest and build this railways, the Rothschild family leading among them. So there is a huge contribution that this family have made to railways around the world. But I don't need to tell you how important railways were, because you are all equinologists.
Iron Bull. It's a made-up term.
Oh, it's
No, I didn't make it up. I didn't make it up. It's true.
Right, so when these things were invented, nearly everyone on this planet was born, lived and died within a 30-mile radius. After these things were invented, people suddenly could travel the world. It was the beginning of globalization as we understand it today. Trade, goods, people, ideas, traveling at breakneck speeds right across continents. In the world previous, the land was a threatening place to be, and the sea was how we traveled, how we moved around. This invention here completely inverted that, and now we're used to traveling on the land. We look at the map, we think the green bit's good for traveling in, but avoid the blue bit. It's a bit scary. Totally inverted our understanding of the world. And it was families like the Rothschilds, banks, and a lot of British capital and British ideas that made that a reality. And I think I would like to finish on the idea of Leo and the remarkable contribution. When I moved to this area, everyone told me about Uncle Leo, and he was this remarkable, gentle, wonderful man, huge pillar of the community down here, did so much for everybody, did so much for these gardens, did so much for everybody. And the fact that in an era where it just seems to me like we spend a lot of time now on Facebook and the internet being rude about everything, and I think actually the real test of our life now is whether we leave behind the world in a tangible sense better than when we found it. And this extension is such a legacy to that remarkable man. And every time we ride on it, we are aware that through the generosity of his bequests, he has enabled countless people to enjoy the wonders of steam railways. And we are a peculiar nation, us Brits. We love steam railways. I travel all over the world, and everyone's jealous of the amount of steam railways we have. And I'm able to say there's one right in the village in which I live, and that always gets great excitement when I'm abroad. So thank you to Leo, thank you to Rothschild, thank you to everyone who works at Exbury Gardens for this remarkable addition, another great extension, not just this railway, but to the historical excitement of this corner of Britain. And with that, let's rip off this flag to reveal the name. Declare Dragonfly Halt open to business.
They've left me all on my own.
See you.
Yes. But you know,